The Arc of South Carolina is returning with their signature event, the PB&J Sandwich Competition. And Danny Bloom, the Director of Outreach and Policy, welcome to the show. It is so great to see you guys back in the saddle again.
Thank you for having us. We're glad to be here and we're excited about the event.
You guys have had this event several years, but it was interrupted because of COVID. And let me tell you, when I emceed that event in January 2020, we were making sandwiches in such close proximity to each other. But we had on gloves, we were very sanitary and everything. But we had no idea that 2 months later that COVID would hit. And so you guys didn't do it in 2021 or 2022. But you're back again this year. So we're very excited. What's the date for the competition?
It's going to be on Saturday, January 14th.
Okay. And so where is it going to be?
We're going to be meeting at the Russell House at the University of South Carolina. We're going to have the event take place in the Ballroom C. It's on the second floor.
All right. So describe for people who might not know what the PB&J Sandwich Competition is. Describe it for them.
Sure. We partner with the University of South Carolina and AmeriCorps to unite Americans in service throughout the year. But our PB&J sandwich making event is our kickoff event. It's designed to be a fun way to engage people with and without disabilities to help those in our area who are experiencing food insecurity. So Americans of every age, ability, and background come together to celebrate Dr. King's legacy by strengthening communities, empowering individuals, bridging barriers, and creating solutions to social problems. So this initiative moves us closer to Dr. King's vision of a beloved community. We'll all meet in there. There'll be tables lined up and bread and peanut butter and jelly set out, and we'll have competitions, and it's just going to be a great event of community.
What do people need to bring with them on that day?
We're asking that folks bring, you can bring peanut butter, jelly, or bread, and that's pretty much all we need. We'll have spatulas and we'll have tablecloths and gloves for you. Just come on out and participate. It'll be a lot of fun. Or volunteer. We're looking for volunteers as well.
Okay. I believe that we set a record in 2020 as far as how many sandwiches were made. I don't remember. Do you recall?
4,693.
Wow. Even though your group might be a little bit smaller, it would still be great to see if you could still meet that.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Let me ask you this. Who is going to be the recipient of this year's sandwiches?
This year, we will be giving the sandwiches out to the 153 Project and to Washington Street Soup Kitchen. We may also be delivering sandwiches to Transitions. Depending on how many sandwiches there are, we're hoping to get them to as many folks as possible.
So tell us a little bit about the Arc of South Carolina. What is your mission?
Sure. The mission of the Arc of South Carolina is to promote and protect the human rights of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and actively support their full inclusion and participation in the community throughout their lifetimes.
And so some of the services that you offer with the organization are what?
Some of the services that we provide include case management. We serve more than 2,000 individuals with disabilities statewide, putting services and supports in place for each individual using a person-centered planning approach. And so we strive to promote independence and self-determination through our case management services. We also provide educational and outreach opportunities for individuals with disabilities, their families, their supporters, and the community at large. We engage in legislative advocacy efforts to reduce waiting lists for services, keeping funds available for families, and increasing awareness and inclusion in the community. We have several other programs, Best Buddies, pairing up people with disabilities with one-on-one friendships with college students. We have our Wings for All program. It's an airport rehearsal program that allows people with disabilities to practice the airport experience. We have a Walk This Way program, getting people with disabilities into the community to promote and increase physical activity. That's people with disabilities and without. And Elephant in the Room program helps parents have an effective age-appropriate conversation about healthy relationships with their child with special needs. And we have our Alert program. This is an autism law and emergency response training program that provides training for first responders so they can better serve people with autism in an emergency situation. We have policy and advocacy initiatives, including fighting for civil rights and inclusion of people with disabilities and their families. Our advocacy work is vital. It helps us improve and sustain the quality of life for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
You guys have a lot. Yes, you really do. And you know what? Coming up on March 1st, you're also going to recognize Disability Advocacy Day. So I want you to give a plug for that as well.
Sure, absolutely. Wednesday, March 1st is Disability Advocacy Day, and we meet at the South Carolina State House. It's where several hundred people from across the state meet on the north grounds of the State House to represent and advocate for the more than 500,000 people with lifelong disabilities and their families in South Carolina. Disability Advocacy Day is an event focused on connecting disability advocates with their legislators to talk about the policy issues and concerns that impact people with disabilities across our state. So our goal with this event is to help educate policymakers about how state government services and policies can be improved, expanded, and strengthened on behalf of people with disabilities. So we believe it's so important for policymakers of South Carolina to hear the voices of the people with disabilities and their families throughout the whole event. This event also provides an opportunity for advocates, self-advocates, caregivers, and family members to learn about the legislative process and how to get involved in disability advocacy efforts. Mm-hmm. And you can learn more about Disability Advocacy Day by visiting, we have a special website set up for this, scpdo.org. That's South Carolina Partnership of Disability Organizations.
That is where it all begins. That's how you can make a change. Again, yes, scpdo.org. Yeah, you guys have your hands full, but I wish you much success for the PB&J sandwich competition. Again, that is Saturday, January 14th. What time does it start?
We are going to have sign-in start about 8:30 a.m. right at the Davis Field, which is directly adjacent to the Russell House. And so we'll have sign-in at 8:30 at Davis Field. The competition will be from 9 till 11 in Ballroom C on the second floor of the Russell House.
And there is no requirement for signing up prior to this event, right?
No, not at all. Just show up last minute if you just happen to be passing by and think about it, stop by and join us.
And if anybody has any questions about the ARC of South Carolina and they'd like to partner with you in the future, give them your social media contact information.
Sure. You can find us online at arcsc.org. Our email address is thearc@arc.org, and you can call us at 803-748-5020. We're also on social media on Facebook, the ARC of South Carolina, and on Instagram and Twitter.
The PB&J Sandwich Competition, January 14th. Danny Bloom with the ARC of South Carolina. Please join us again and let us know other things that you are doing in the community. We do appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you as well.